Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Okay, so we're trying to understand what does it mean? Me'asher shamna lachme. From Asher, the fats of his bread. And then when Rashi says also Moshe Rabbeinu gave him this bracha, the child of Asher. He said that Tevel b'shem raglav, he dips his feet in oil. So we started discussing what does this mean? That everything from that we see in Gashmis, everything that's in this physical world, is mishtalshel. It sources itself from Ruchnius. Bav. So he said, what does this mean in Avodas Hashem? Simply, it means that the feet represents across the feet, the lowest parts, whereas the shemen, the oil represents the chachma, the head. So what does it mean that Tevel Shemen Beraglov dips his feet in the oil, that the feet is dipping into the Chachma, is tapping to the Bav Chachma? This is also like when Mashiach comes, Yom Deraglov B'Yemahu Al Har Zeisim, that the feet on that day will stand on Har Zeisim. Har Zeisim is the source of the oil. Zeisim is the high level, and the feet will stand on top of Har Zeisim. So the feet are getting on level above this. So in simple English, what's the feet and what's the head? The head is chachma. Head is the connection to godliness. We understand and we feel that we are excited. And the feet is the Kabbalah soul connection that we have to Hashem. We do it, that's what Hashem wants from us. And even though Kabbalah soul is on a low level, it's the feet, but nevertheless, there's a milo, something special about the Kabbalah soul over, that's what we're discussing in this sequence, the milo Kabbalah soul over the Chacham. And this is what we're talking about. So we have to Ois Daled. Actually, Gimel. So we're saying, so we understand, we have to understand what this means. So now to understand what this means, we're going to discuss first understand done. Let's see. So we're going to start with a good sidetrack to done. That helps us understand Hashem. So L'shei Havanas Yisarei Haregel Lagabe Reish. Now to understand the real advantage of the foot, the quote unquote foot over the head. L'chein Lavanas Hakesh Shebein Segulas Haregel Levein Shevet Asher. Also be able to understand the connection between the specialness of the foot in comparison. In connection with the Shem of Asher, like we said, Asher, that the Moshe said that Tevel Raglav, Tevel Shem Raglav. So to understand this, it has a connection with Asher. Yesh lahaz b'tchilas the Inyan Shel Machne Dan. First, I have to understand Dan. Dan Asher. So I have to understand what is Dan. What was about the camp of Dan? So what was interesting about Dan? Inyan Shel Machne Dan. Sheshevet Asher. That it was a shevet that was used part of it. What happened? Dan was in the back. So when the Yidden traveled in the desert, Dan was in the back. What would Dan do? That would be the gatherers. All the leftovers, everyone knows about this, probably we learned this before. All the leftover stuff, whatever people dropped and they get lost, Dan would pick it up and they would do Hashavas Aveda and return everything. And he explains, Machne Dan Haya Ma'aseh V'chol Machlis. They would gather. Anshe Machne Zen Tzadu Achri Shakal Machlis. They stood in the back behind everyone, all the camps. They So they were able to have the special schus on one hand in the back. On the other hand, they gave them the special schus to be able to pick up everything and return everything to their owners. So Pirush, what does this mean? Shalim Roish, Ha'avodah. Shemachne Dan Tzad Seif, even though Dan was on the level and their avodah was on the back, meaning they're on the lowest level. On the lower levels in all the other camps. Nevertheless, which is Bechunas Rago, which is level of 4. On one hand, done is a very low level, but Hareid Limroy says, nevertheless, the Davka Beglalis specifically because they're on the lowest level. Hishiva as Avedos Lamachnes Achirim. And what we're saying is very interesting, and this is a very, very interesting idea in life. That on one hand, Don is on the lowest level; they're the furthest away, and we're going to bring this out even more. But Don on the lowest level, all the way in the back. So yeah, then nobody's in the back. But on the hand, specifically because that nobody's in the back, they're able to do Hashavas Aveda and return the lost objects to everyone. So on one hand, the Derech Chisaron is their Maila. They're lacking. They're not in the top, they're not in the front, not up there, up high above. There's some people in the back. But they also add something very critical that no other shaver can add. So let's understand it. Let's understand this better. Like we said before, everything that happens physically, whatever happens physically, is because it's happening spiritually. And they reflect their source as it is spiritually. So what's this happening spiritually? What does it mean spiritually lost? So understand what does it mean lost spiritually? It's like it says in the Gemara. Who is a fool? Simple translation is he loses everything that is given to him. What's a fool? A fool person loses everything. Yeah, simple. He loses everything. It's like, he's a foolish person. He always loses everything. He's not reliable. But Chassidus, Muzbar, Pirush, Maimer, Zekaf. Chassidus teaches in a deep way. From above, everyone is given this level of ma, which is like bittul, which is the ability to now find ourselves to godliness and to be connected to Hashem. What gets in the way of this? The Yitzhahara. Anika Melech Zaken, which is called the old foolish king. He's shaitan. He's a fool. So being that you have this foolishness, so everyone gets the ma, this ability to be connected to Hashem and to not be self-centered and take yourself away from Hashem. But what happens? We lose it. But you have someone special. You have done. They're the ones who return the lost objects. What's the lost? We said the ma. It's done, gathers everything. So what happens? We have this, what the spiritual connotation of this done discussion is like this. That every yid is given the ability to have the koyach amma. But like we said before, we said from the Gemara, it says Ezu Shaita Zesh Ma'abed Kol Ma Shnishnoi. Simple meaning he loses everything they give him, but the deep meaning he loses all the ma that they give to him. Meaning the ma is the ability to connect to Hashem, to have that ability of bittul, that's how we connect to Hashem, but we lose it. How do we lose it? Because Yitzhahara comes, Melech Zaken Uchsil, and Yitzhahara comes and he takes us away from having the ma. But who returns it to us? Who's the one that has the ability to give it back to us? Sheva done. Which is in the back of everything. So what does that mean? You had the ones that ahead, the ones that were close to the Mishkan in the camps when the Yidden were going in the desert. Levi, you have Kahas and Levi, finally enough, Kahas and Levi, which are so close to the Mishkan, so connected, but they can lose the Ma. His battles because this nullification of godliness. But specifically in the tribe of Dan, which is the feet, not just their ma is complete. Ella can even more than this. Hey, Ma'af, Mishivim es Hamar, as his battles, the Chol so they return the ma to everyone else. Not just they don't lose it. You have the higher levels, the higher Shvatim, closer to the Mishkan, closer to the Lakus. But they can lose the ma, they can lose that isbatlus, lose that connection to Hashem. But who does have it constantly and returns it back? The guy in the back. Done. Specifically, the feet helps the head. meaning having that simple faith and that simplicity of connection. Hashem's in charge. Is a big milo. You can be a chacham, but you lose it. What's better, to be the chacham and lose it, or to be the simple done and get it? So there's a big milo. Dan always had a connection to Hashem. What would you rather, having always connected to Hashem, or having a better connection sometimes, and sometimes worse? But we're showing here the milo of done. Hey, this is also the connection we said in the parsha. Done yadin, done will judge. So what does it say? The Gemara brings down in Sachim, someone used to always say when there's a conflict, you come, let's judge it. There used to be arguments, and there was a guy who would always say, done dini. Come, let's judge our issue. So what would they say about him? No, he came from Dan. This is what the Gemara says. Dan will be judged. He'd always say, come, let's judge. This is just turning to Hebrew. Amru, Mashma, Mikah, Shahu, Ba, Mishav Dan. And it was understood from this saying he wanted to always have judgment coming from Dan. Like it says in the passage about Dan Yadin, Dan will judge. So what does this mean? Hanhaga shall dini, who should be yeches, the whole David got everything. Av, Hapuut, even the smallest thing. Adam what does it mean? Don't judge everything. It means, meaning, and ultimately what it means for us, that done judges everything. It means because we look at it. How do we do this? What are we meant to be doing here? Let me look at the rule books for this. What's the rule books? Shulchan Aruch. Search at halacha. You understand the world not a hefka place. Just do whatever you want. There's a balabais. There's someone in charge, and he has rules, and there's rules to this place. And how do I follow these rules? Even something small, little. And kayema is a rabbater. Listen to her comes. Just finish off the last paragraph. But acting like this, no one will discuss it. Acting like this, barak mishum kabbalah. To be able to do this, it comes with a kabbalah. But when we serve Hashem with tamadas, reasoning and understanding, yesh arei gam al pi seichel Torah hevdel bein davar gadol davar katan. According to the logic of Torah, there's a more chashva mitzvah and there's less chashva mitzvah. So to be able to come and take even the smallest thing and say, hey, what does Torah have to say about this, and how am I going to act? It doesn't come from seichel. Who's on seichel, you say, whatever, it's a small thing. There's a bigger mitzvah and less mitzvah. This is a teeny mitzvah. What do I care? But when you have the Kabbalah Soul, it's not about what the mitzvah is, about who would serve it. And we see clearly the Torah says these are light mitzvah and this is a very strict mitzvah. Whereas Kabbalah Soul, the light ones and the heavy ones are all equal. Because they're all coming from the decree of the king. So what we're saying is the Maila of Dan and the Maila of Kabbalah Soul, which is Dan, which connects the Kabbalah Soul, is that Kabbalah Soul is not about me, it's about the Eibishter, it's about Hashem. What does Hashem need? And Dan had this specific ability. Its simplicity of Dan was able to gather all the Ma. The Ma is serving Hashem with this Kabbalah Soul. The other Shvatim, which they served Hashem through their logic, and what made sense, and what was good, and what was Geshmak, they have the ability to lose the Ma. They can lose that Ma. They can lose that nullification of Hashem. That's all about Hashem. And they can caught up with themselves. Whereas Dan was specifically about himself. It wasn't about himself, it was about Hashem. He had the Kabbalah Soul. And therefore, when the comment, like we said in the Gemara, that Danya didn't, he judged everything. So what does it mean? Saying Don said, "Hey, 1 second, what does Torah say about this?" Even something so small, simple mitzvah, what's it? There's a Torah opinion. What do I hold? But it's something small. I don't care. If you don't have the Kabbalah Soul, so you say, "Oh, whatever. This is boring. I don't like this." When you have the Kabbalah Soul, you do it. And this is teaching us. Dan is teaching us, and we're learning from Dan. The Milo of Dan is the Kabbalah Soul. And then this is important. Meaning, the question we're going to ask ourselves: do I do Torah mitzvah just because it's fun, or do I do it because it's right? And this is what Hashem wants. I do it. It's a self-serving. It's my enjoyment, which therefore we can lose it. That we said, we can be a fool and we lose things. We lose our connection to Hashem. Why? Because our connection to Hashem is based on what we feel and what we enjoy. Or are we like the simple Dan, which Dan is on the back, but Dan can gather all this ma that's lost because Dan has Kabbalah Soul, simplicity. What does Hashem want from me? Of course, we should have a geschmack in our davening, our learning, and in our connection with Hashem. But that's not why we do the mitzvahs, because it's geschmack. We do it because it's Hashem wants. To be thought about and continued tomorrow.